Hi everyone. Today we will be seeing that what is a Bitonic sequence. So a Bitonic sequence is a sequence which has both increasing numbers and then decreasing numbers. A strictly increasing sequence is also a type of Bitonic sequence only. It's just that the decreasing part is empty. Similarly, a strictly decreasing sequence is also a Bitonic sequence with the increasing part as empty. Here I have taken an example. See, till 1 to 8 you have increasing numbers, and then from 7 to 6 you have the decreasing sequence, right? So this is an example of a Bitonic sequence. Now we always get a problem. It's a classic problem that you are given a sequence. For example, I am given this sequence and you have to find the largest Bitonic sequence in this given sequence, right? So for doing that, we have this approach that I'm going to tell you about, and the same approach we are going to implement in the code that we'll be seeing ahead. Okay, so let's start. First of all, we know that the Bitonic sequence has an increasing part and a decreasing part. So now let's first look into the increasing part. At every index we will find out a increasing subsequence. Okay, for example, at index 0 you have only 11. You have only 11, right? There is no other number before it. So at 0th index we have just 11. So our Bitonic sequence consists of only one element, that is 11, right? Next you come to 23. Now we want a increasing sequence, right? So if you put 23 after 11, we'll get a sequence of length 2, and it is an increasing sequence. So we can say that at index 1, where we have 23, we are getting a increasing subsequence of length 2. Okay, so I have written the length here, that is 2. Next you come to 6. Now 6 is not greater than 11, neither it is greater than 23. So you cannot put 6 after 11 and you cannot put 6 after 23. Why? Because you want an increasing sequence and 6 is not greater than any of them, right? So you won't get an increasing sequence. Thus, for the second index, we'll only have one element in the Bitonic sequence, which is 6 itself, and therefore the length of the subsequence will be 1. I think now you are getting it, right? Next you come to 35. So at index 3, okay, indexes are like 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is an array. So we are taking that array indexing starting from 0. So now at the third index, you see we have 35. Now 35 is greater than all three of these numbers. If you put 35 after 11, you'll get a length of 2. But if you put 35 after these two numbers, after this sequence, you will get a length of 3. If you put 35 after 6 here, you will get a length of 2. But we want the longest length, right? So longest length we'll be getting when we'll put 35 after these two, that is in this sequence. That's why we put 35 after 11 and 23, and we get a increasing subsequence of length 3 at index 3, right? Next we come to 20. Now 20 is greater than 11 and 6, but it's not greater than 23 and 35. So you can put 20 after 11, okay, that is in this sequence, or you can put 20 after 6, that is this sequence. Either way you will get a length of 2. So you can put it anywhere. I have placed it after 11, right? So you get a sequence of length 2 which consists of 11 and 20. So the longest possible increasing subsequence at index 4 is 11 and 20. It is of length 2. Next you come to 50. Now 50 is greater than all these previous numbers. It can be placed after 11, 23, 6, 35, 20. Now where are we getting the longest length? If you can see it clearly, if you are putting 50 in this sequence, okay, obviously we'll be getting a length of 4. While if you are putting 50 in any of the other sequences, right, either after 11 or after this sequence, that is 11, 23, 50, or after this sequence, after 6, or after this, you will always be getting a length lesser than 4, right? But if you are putting it in this sequence, you will get the longest length till now. Therefore we will be putting 50 in the sequence having 35, and we'll get the longest length till now, that is length of 4. So at the index 5 we got the increasing subsequence, which is this, and it is of length 4. Next you come to 38. 38 is greater than 11, 23, 35, 6, 20. It is not greater than 50. Now where should I place 38 to get the longest increasing subsequence? Obviously you can see, if we are going to place 38 in this sequence, we'll get the longest sequence for 38. You cannot put 38 here after 50, because then it won't be increasing subsequence, as 38 is smaller than 50, right? So you can, for getting for the longest possible length for 38 that we can obtain is 4 only. So I have put 38 in the sequence which is having 11, 23, 35, and we got a length of 4. Next you come to 67. Now 67 is greater than all the previous elements, and if you are going to place 67 after 50, that is in this sequence, you can see that you will be getting the longest length. Also if you put 67 after 38 here, again you will be getting a length of 5. So either way, if you put 67 after 50 then also, and if you put it after 38 then too, in both the case you will be getting 5. So either way it is correct. I have put 67 in the sequence having 50, right? And I got a longest length till now, which is 5. Next you come to 82. Now for 82, if we want the longest length, what we'll do, obviously we will place it in this sequence, then only we'll get the longest increasing subsequence till now. So I have put 80 in this sequence, and now we got a length of 6. And then lastly we come to 2. Now 2 is smaller than all these previous elements, so we cannot put 2 anywhere, means we cannot put 2 after any of the sequences, because we want increasing sequence, and 2 is smaller than all of these numbers, right? Therefore the subsequence at the last index, the increasing subsequence at the last index, will consist of 2 itself, because 2 cannot be placed in any other sequence that we have formed previously, as 2 is smaller than all of them, so it cannot be placed after any of the sequences. Okay, it will not form increasing sequence. So the subsequence possible at the last index is 2 itself, and therefore the length will be 1. So this way you see that we have found the length of the longest increasing subsequences at each index. Okay. Now what we will be doing further, that we will be seeing in the next video. Okay. So I have just put the link in the description box. You can click on that and we can move to the part 2 of this video.